What's up, everybody? Rodney here with Horizen. We're going to mix some drums today. Let's get it. All right, so we are back here. I've already kind of set up some groups, and we find more about that. Find out more about that later. Sorry, can't talk right now. So one of the things I want to talk about, when you talk about drums, drums are an instrument by themselves, okay? They just have a lot of elements. So the first thing we're going to do is balance some of them elements, okay? Note, on my stereo bus over here, I have put or on my stereo output rather, I have put a VU meter. If I can get it to come up here. Okay, yeah. So I put a VU meter, and the reason I do that is because I want my kick drum hitting around -3. And the reason I want that is because later on when I add my bass guitar in, I want the bass and the kick drum to be hitting around 0. And what that's going to do is give you a really good kick to bass relationship and really give you a really good relationship in your low end. It's called the low end trick. So yeah, so let's keep that pulled up. I'm gonna go over here to my drums, pull this down here. I'm gonna unsolo everything except for the drums. So we're gonna open the drums up. Let's go to the kick real quick. Let's see where that's popping at. -5. -5. We want to get a little bit more. So that about right there. Let's bring the overheads in. See what's going on with them. See if we got any flabbiness going on. All right, let's bring in the snare. Kick can come back up a little bit. And when I imported these tracks, I'm gonna make a note. I already checked the phase, so that's really important. You want to make sure you're checking your phase against everything. Check your phase against your overheads. Check your phase against other instruments. Like if you've got here, we've got a kick in and a kick out. I checked phase with that. So if I zoom all the way in, you see they're pretty well in phase. We'll come back out. All right, let's bring in some toms. See if I can find a good spot. It's got a pretty good time roll. Okay, we can close this VU meter now. All right, there's some toms. I like to pan my toms, and I always go drummer perspective or audience perspective. So I'll pan the rack tom to the left or to the right, floor tom to the left. Let's see what kind of spread that gives us. Hear that rack tom. All right, that's pretty cool. I like where that's at. Now, some people like to get rid of anything. Like if you look on the tom tracks right here, some people like to only have those toms coming through. Personally, I think some of that bleed will, depending on how good or bad it is, it can enhance. I don't really mess with it unless I have a problem with the overall sound. So I'm going to leave it as is for now. And this is more probably for a rock record than like a pop record. In a pop record, you'd want to go in, isolate each one of those hits maybe, and, you know, kind of gate everything else out. Or you can replace them. So some people like to do that. I really don't. It depends on what I'm working on. Now for the snare, I will say for the snare, what I like to do is I like to come in here to the snare top and check it out real quick and see what's going on and see how fat it is. I honestly think we can work with that snare. I think we can drive some low end out of that snare if we need to. Okay, so now let's check it. Listen to the whole balance again. Add the hi-hat in here. And we got a room channel I'm gonna add in too. It gives us some nice dimension, a little bit of reverb there. Okay, so here's what's important. The reason I'm balancing these drums by themselves to begin with is because I do not want the relationship volume-wise or signal flow to change when I start adding other elements into the mix. Your drums are probably one of the most important instruments as far as creating a depth of field or creating an ambience or creating that space for your music. So what I will go ahead and do though is add in the bass guitar with that and see where we're hitting that on our VU meter again. So I'm just going to pull up my VU meter again. Come back over here. Pull that VU meter back up and see where we're hitting with the drums real quick. Turn the snare bottom back on. I like it, but I'm gonna turn it down some. Snare overall can probably come up. All right, now I'm gonna add the bass guitar in. And I'm paying attention to when the kick hits and the bass at the same time. Okay, I can definitely tell we're gonna have to do a little bit of work on the bass later on, but that'll be another video. So what I like to do with drums, now that I've got them balanced, is I want to treat them as a single instrument. And then if I have to go in and deal with problems later on, then that's fine. So what I'm gonna do, I'm happy with the drum sound right now. It's a little punchy, well balanced. So I'm gonna go to my drum bus, my track stack as I call it, and I'm gonna add some compression. I want to see if I can get a little more out of these things. I'll leave the bass on. Now I'm not looking for a volume boost. I'm looking to glue the drums together a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna go to this Studio FET. What it is it's got a very, very fast attack and release time. So I'm going to play with that a little bit, really kind of crush them and see where we're at, and then back it off. Okay, I'm gonna run a slow attack time and a quick release time because I want some of that attack to come through on everything. And I may go in and actually compress the overheads a little bit. So I'm gonna leave let's make sure we've got a good level match with this compressor. Okay, so the tendency is to squash the drums and get as much punch out of them as you can. Well, generally that's a good thing, but what I'm trying to do is a little more tactful. I really want to glue the drums together and get them overall kind of balanced. And so the overheads are still poking out a lot to me, so I'm going to work on them for a second real quick. Sorry, kids. Okay, so what I hear with the overheads is they're a little too bright. I'm gonna go back over here to my EQ. All right, I'm gonna throw some quick EQ on my kick and my toms, and we'll check those out, and I think we'll be good to go. Now, some things may change in the midst of context when you get to mixing the rest of the song, but this is a really good way to get a good balance with your drums. So I'm gonna go ahead to the kick and check out the CQ and see where I'm at. A little bit of 60 hertz, a little bit of punch. Turn down from about 800 to 1K. That's some nice punch coming through. Let's look at the time, see if we can do the same thing with them. I'm gonna go over here where we got a roll. Go over here where we got a tom roll going on. Let's see where we got a rack tom hit going on. Nice. All right, I'm gonna go to my overall drum bus real quick. I'll fatten up my snare just a tad. A little bit of compression on that. A little bit of compression. Not much. All right, that's a little better. Maybe, let's see what everything sounds like in the mix right now. All right, so I'm gonna go through and let's balance everything real quick. Let's see, we got some guitars.
Gotta know if it's worth my time. Ooh, my time. Always looking over my shoulder, always looking up that ladder. Never see what's right in front of me. I got so much more to give than I could ever take. I got a mission, and I've got so much life to live, and not just for my sake. I got a mission.
So everything's kind of balanced overall. We're going to go in and enhance some things later on. But yeah, that's how you get started with the drum mix, guys. Thanks. Look, please go to the link in the description and get your free mix guide. Teach you how to do gain structure. And it's a 5-step process to get your mix started out on the right foot. So I got a free gift box for you. It's got some plugins in it along with the mix guide. So yeah, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, do the thing.